It is Friday, October 28, 2016. Thanks for tuning into the Radio Vision Network. We got a great show lined up for you today as we head into November. Boy, this month flew by. We've got the World Series to talk about today. The Cubs and the Indians, both teams won one game each. Let's talk about Game 1 of the World Series. The Indians played very well in 2016. Heading into Game 1, the Indians looked to take a 1-game-to-none lead, which they did. Roberto Perez hit 2 home runs in the game, and Corey Kluber was amazing. Of course, Andrew Miller did very well in relief, and so did Cody Allen. There was no safe situation, but the Cubs did not score a single one. They had a really hard time getting back into the winnings. Of course, they're trying to win their first World Series since 1908. And the Cleveland Indians haven't been into the World Series since the 1940s. Last time they were in the World Series, 1997. And now, a few years later, here they are, taking on the Chicago Cubs in Cleveland. Indians took the first game 6-0. In Game 2, the Cubs did play much better. They went on to win 5-1. They played very well, of course. You got Dexter Fowler, Anthony Rizzo, and the Indians have got Jose Ramirez and the rest of the players, of course, with Andrew Miller. Things have happened. Now, heading into tonight, 3 games at Wrigley Field in Chicago. The Chicago Cubs and the Cleveland Indians. Who will come out victorious in Game 3? I'm going to say the Chicago Cubs. They are going to win in at least 5 games, maybe 4 games to 1. They could win tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday night. It's going to be pretty hard for the Cubs. Or can the Indians extend the series and put the World Series back to Progressive Field in Cleveland? This may happen. We haven't seen a World Series win from the Indians or the Cubs. Cubs can have an opportunity to win heading into Game 3 tonight. Now, the Cleveland Indians, they have played and had a really hard time in the past few seasons, but here they are in 2016 trying to win their first World Series since the 1940s, and they were there since 1997. Now, let's get back on track. We'll see who breaks that series tie tomorrow night, tonight, and Sunday. This is going to be the best series ever. Will it be the Indians to win, or will it be the Cubs? And if the Cubs win, it will be go Cubs go if they win the World Series. Now, for the Cleveland Indians, their keys are get some hits, don't make any errors, and do not make any mistakes. The Chicago Cubs, here's their keys to the World Series. Get some hits, score some ones. I would love to see some ones scored. And now, the key thing is no more errors. I know we've seen error-free games, but the errors can come back and haunt them. They did very well in the Division Series and the Championship Series with Chase Utley, Carlos Ruiz, and the Dodgers. Indians did very well with Boston. They did very well with Toronto when they had a 3-games-to-none lead. And then, 1 game later, they won 4 games to 1 and went on to the World Series. And for the Cubs and the Indians, I know these 2 teams did meet last year, 2 in Cleveland, 2 in Chicago, and then the makeup game was held back in August because of all that wet weather. Now, Game 2 of the World Series was pushed 1 hour early because of the threat of rain in the Cleveland area. But the Cubs went on to win that game 5-1. Heading into tonight, I want to see the Cubs win 3 games at home. If they can win the next 3 games, it's going to be pretty hard for the Cleveland Indians to fight back. Of course, if the Cubs lead 3 games to 1, that means the Indians need 2 games to tie, 3 to win. Now, if the Indians took the series lead, let's say 3-1, that means the Cubs will have 2 games to tie, 3 to win. I'm going to say the Cubs are going to win 4-1 heading into tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday night. Now, I know you got the World Series, but you got other sports. You've got football, you got college football. You got a lot of sports to watch over the weekend. We got college football, then you got professional football. We'll get to professional football later on. Now, the Cleveland Indians have a good chance. They did very well in the season, and the Cubs did very well. They had a big lead in the National League Central, and then winning the division. For the Cubs, in order to win the World Series, play hard, no errors. More importantly, get some hits, no more strikeouts. Of course, anything can happen. Now the Indians, they got Roberto Perez. He homered twice. And then now heading into tonight, the Indians and Cubs. 3 games at Wrigley. You're going to be playing through the wind. And don't forget, tomorrow night, the Cubs and Indians meet for Game 4, weather permitting. We'll see how this game's play out. If the Cubs and the Indians can come back and win, we'll see if the Cubs can win the final 3 games, or will the Indians extend the series. And of course, the series has been extended. And of course, you got Game 3 tonight, Game 4 tomorrow night, and Game 5 Sunday night after all the football games are done. Of course, you got Sunday, you got football to watch, and then after you're all done watching football, except you got the Sunday night game, Philadelphia at Dallas, what are you going to be watching? Are you going to be watching the World Series, or are you going to be watching football on Sunday night? Sunday night is the Eagles and Cowboys. So if you're watching Eagles and Boys, and if you're watching the World Series, that's going to be pretty hard. You have a decision. World Series or the Eagles. We'll talk about the Eagles in a little bit later. And of course, the Cubs did very well. Chris Bryant had a good season. So did Anthony Rizzo. Of course, these two are very tough hitters to face. Now, here's what we had. They got Ben Zobrist. They got Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, and of course, Kyle Schwarber and Dexter Fowler. How can they improve from the first 2 games? Got to improve in their hitting, no strikeouts. Hopefully, we will not see any errors. Just be careful on where you throw the ball. Throw it to the best target. You don't want to get yourself charged with an error. You don't want to throw any balls in the dugout. You do not want to see those. Now, the Indians. They won a lot of games in winning the American League Central. They had a really hard time getting back in this. Of course, they had a really hard time years ago. Now here they are in the World Series. 1 game each. Who will take Game 3? It's going to be pretty hard when you take the first 1 game at home, then the 4th game, and then the 5th. Chicago. Of course, we would love to see the Phillies in the World Series, but the Phillies had a hard time. But anything can happen, of course. Andrew Miller did very well in Game 1. Cody Allen shut them down. Of course, he had a hard time. Of course, gave up a double to Contreras and then settled down and got the next 2 hitters. Now, for the Cubs and Indians, Game 3 tonight, tomorrow, both of them at 8, and then Sunday night at 8:15. Hopefully you viewers will turn on the TV, and you do not want to miss out on the Cubs and Indians in Chicago for 3, and then back to Cleveland for 2 if Cleveland can extend the series. Now, we've seen a lot of stuff going on with the Cleveland Indians. Now the Chicago Cubs, they've done so well. They worked hard to get into the postseason. Now here's what we got. Game 3, 4, and 5 in Chicago. And if the series is extended, that means we're heading into November. That means 6 and 7 will be back at the, I'm used to saying at the Jake, but at Progressive Field. Now, here's what we got. Cody Allen did a splendid job. Now, let's take a look at the next set of games, of course, you've got Cleveland, Chicago. It's about to be a good battle, an ugly game heading into today. Tonight, who's going to take Game 3? Who's going to take Game 4? Who's going to take Game 5, Game 6 and 7, if necessary, if the series extends? Here we go. Let's have fun. If you folks are going out tonight to watch baseball, maybe to a bar, and maybe you're going to be at a bar over the weekend, maybe to watch football, you're going to be saying, what game am I going to be watching? Of course, you're going to be watching the World Series. You're going to be watching football. It's going to be a lot of fun. But Indians and the Cubs heading into tonight, going to be a fun battle. But please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. We're going to recap Week 7 of the National Football League. And after that, we're going to preview Week 8 and make our picks. So please don't go anywhere. We're coming right back.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
And we're back. Let's recap some football from week number 7. Let's start off with the game in London that most people will try to wake up. The Giants and the Rams in London. Case Keenum threw 4 picks in the game. The Giants won 17-10, hang on for the win. They have a bye weekend. They will prepare against the Philadelphia Eagles 2 weeks from Sunday. Now in Philadelphia, Sam Bradford made his return to Philly. And Sam Bradford's return was not good. He got sacked 6 times by the Eagles defense. The first quarter was a mess. Too many turnovers. But Carson Wentz, he rebounded from throwing interceptions, and he ran for the ball on 4th and 2 Philly wins that game 21-10. They will take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, Minnesota have a Monday night game on Halloween against the Chicago Bears. In Detroit, man, what a back and forth fourth quarter, down to the wire. Kirk Cousins threw a touchdown pass with a minute remaining. Then Matthew Stafford drove down the field. He found Anquan Boldin in the end zone. Detroit won with 16 seconds left. It was 20-17. Detroit won over these Redskins. At Arrowhead, the Kansas City Chiefs took on the New Orleans Saints. The Saints were trying to come from behind, try to win the game, and possibly tie it up to force overtime, but Kansas City stopped the Saints as they went on to win 27-21 at Arrowhead Stadium. In Jacksonville, the Oakland Raiders took on the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. It was all Oakland. Man, what a performance by Derek Carr. Blake Bortles had a hard time, threw some interceptions, but the Oakland Raiders went into Jacksonville to defeat the Jaguars 33-16. At MetLife Stadium, Joe Flacco and the Baltimore Ravens went into New Jersey as they take on the New York Jets and Geno Smith. Geno Smith is out for the rest of the season with a torn ACL. Ryan Fitzpatrick of the Jets came in. He was better than he was last time out. Of course, last time he had 2 interceptions. Of course, he had it at Kansas City with 6 interceptions and 3 against the Seahawks. But Joe Flacco's returned to New Jersey because Joe was a New Jersey native. 2 losses in New Jersey. The Jets went on to win 24-16. Baltimore is on a bye week, try to regroup as they will take on Landry Jones and the Pittsburgh Steelers in Baltimore. Meanwhile, the Jets are looking for their second consecutive win as they will take on the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland. Of course, last time the Jets won in Cleveland was 2010. Mark Sanchez threw a touchdown pass to Santonio Holmes with under a minute remaining, and the Jets went on to win 26-20 at Cleveland. Division rivalries. Browns and Bengals in a divisional showdown or a Ohio showdown. The Bengals went on to win 31-17 in Cincinnati. In Miami, the Buffalo Bills went on to take on Ryan Tannehill and the Miami Dolphins. What a game. Miami came from behind to win the game. Meanwhile, Buffalo had a really tough time. They lost to the 49ers, and now they lost 2 straight. They went on to lose to Miami in a tough one, 28-25. Miami is off. Buffalo is heading on home to face Tom Brady and the New England Patriots at Orchard Park. We'll preview the Pats and the Bills later in the show. In Tennessee, Andrew Luck and the Colts went on to take on Marcus Mariota and the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. It was a fantastic performance by Andrew Luck. Colts were down 3 in the fourth quarter. He did a fantastic job finding his receivers in the end zone. Of course, Tennessee tried to come back, but an interception return proved to be the big difference in Indianapolis. Indianapolis won 34-26. These 2 teams will meet in a couple weeks in Indianapolis on the Sunday before Thanksgiving. In Atlanta, the San Diego Chargers went on to take on Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons in Atlanta, an overtime affair. Both teams did a fantastic job, but San Diego rallied back down 27-10, tied it up, and they tied it up at 30 to force overtime. Now, Atlanta went on 4th down, didn't work. If I was the Atlanta head coach, I would have punted the ball to San Diego, and San Diego would have gone into field goal range. Josh Lambo made a 40-yard field goal, but in the fourth quarter, Matt Ryan missed a 58-yarder that would have won the game. San Diego wins 33-30. San Diego will go to Denver next week as they take on the Broncos this Sunday. In Santa Clara, San Francisco, what happened? They lost 6 consecutive games as they took on the Buccaneers. Now they're 1-6. Jameis Winston was awful. He was not awful. He was marvelous on the field. Tampa Bay wins 34-17. They are home against the Oakland Raiders. Meanwhile, the 49ers are on a bye trying to rebound and prepare for their game against Drew Brees and the New Orleans Saints in a couple weeks from Sunday. In Pittsburgh, Tom Brady took on Landry Jones in Pittsburgh. It was a good Patriots offense. They had a 14-0 lead. Now Pittsburgh tried to rally back. It was 14-7. Second quarter, Landry Jones looking for Demarius Hayward-Bay. That was the second touchdown of the quarter, but Chris Hubbard gets called for holding. No touchdown, and Chris Boswell went on to miss 2 field goals in the game. Not a good performance from the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are also off. They will rebound as they will take on Joe Flacco and the Ravens in Baltimore. Meanwhile, New England will take on the Buffalo Bills. Last time these two teams met was in Foxborough. The Buffalo Bills defeated the Patriots in Foxborough 16-0. Patriots didn't even score. When Jacoby Brissett got sacked, he got intercepted, he fumbled so much. Too much turnovers from New England. Let's talk about that Sunday night tie game between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. No touchdowns? You got to score some touchdowns. It was 3-all with 4 minutes to go in the fourth. And then, here we are in overtime. 24-yard field goal from Chandler Cannizzaro. He kicked it. It hit the left upright and no good. That would have won the game for Arizona. Instead, we play on. Now, Russell Wilson, he was driving down the field, trying to get Stephen Hauschka into field goal range. But here we go. 10 seconds left. Hauschka, ball's down, kick is up, and no good. He missed it wide left, a 28-yard field goal. You can't miss these field goals. That is inexcusable. Kickers get paid good amount of money to kick these field goals. And instead of both game-winning field goals, Seattle and Arizona ended in even Steven 6-all. Of course, a tie is better than a loss. Of course, that was a rarity. Last time an NFL had a tie game, you have to go back to Week 6 of 2014. Carolina and Cincinnati at Paul Brown Stadium, they were tied up at 24-all. Of course, 8 years ago, the Eagles and Bengals tied up at 13. Of course, the Eagles and Bengals will meet later in the season. In Denver, Brock Osweiler made his return to the Mile High City, but his return was spoiled. Of course, Denver destroyed the Texans 27-9 in Houston. Cannot get the ball in the end zone. That was awful. And of course, Houston is home against Detroit. Meanwhile, Denver's home against San Diego. Of course, these two teams met 2 weeks ago at Qualcomm Stadium with their throwbacks. And as I mentioned a few weeks ago, please get rid of your throwbacks. Wear your regular uniforms. That's the key point here. Now, let's preview Week 8. Are you going to wake up on Sunday morning to watch Kirk Cousins and the Skins take on Andy Dalton and the Bengals? Might as well be waking up, or you're going to be sleeping. But the Redskins and the Bengals. Washington comes in at 4-3. Cincinnati is 3-4. But before we get to that, Thursday night football between the Titans and the Jaguars. Tennessee played very well, much better than Sunday. They won by a score of 36-22 over the Jaguars in Tennessee. Marcus Mariota was good. Even Jacksonville was down 24-0. The score could have been 31-0 Tennessee. But too many missed extra points. But the one missed extra point was by Tennessee. And Tennessee went home to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars as they win 36-22 at Nissan Stadium. Jacksonville goes on the road next week. They will take on the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City. And meanwhile, the Tennessee Titans will be taking on the San Diego Chargers at Qualcomm Stadium next week. Please do not go anywhere. We will be right back. We will preview Week 8 of the 2016 season, and we'll see who are you going to pick. We'll be right back.
Saving your business money is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Tanker Consulting Services, a payment solutions expert, will show you how with a free, detailed, written analysis illustrating your cost savings. We usually uncover savings between 10 and 25%, and sometimes more. We can help your business succeed by providing reliable and secure merchant payment solutions such as merchant services programs, point-of-sale systems, and ATM machines. TCS, one of the leaders in regional credit card processing consulting, offers electronic payments to merchants locally and nationwide through our preferred vendor programs. We work to keep business costs down with a comprehensive suite of quality products, services, and customized credit card processing programs exclusively tailored for your company. TCS is convenient, reliable, and innovative, with customer service available 24/7, 365 days a year. Our in-depth industry knowledge, partnership strategy, and innovative processing solutions allow for a specialized approach to providing merchant bank processing with 100% full fee disclosure. TCS is one-stop shopping for all your merchant services solutions. Our clients save money 100% of the time. Trust Tanker Consulting Services, the knowledgeable, professional, and friendly provider of secure payment services. We set the standard by which others are measured. Call now for a free written analysis. 609-922-0201.
And welcome back. Let's preview Week 8 of the NFL season. Let's start off in London. The Redskins and the Bengals in London. As I mentioned earlier, are you going to be waking up to watch football, or are you going to be sleeping? Washington lost in their last game against Detroit. Meanwhile, Cincinnati, a big win against the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to go for Cincinnati to win over the Redskins. Washington has to lose so the Eagles can play better. I'm going to take Cincinnati, and they are going to win over the Skins. Then after you're done watching football in the morning, you got football in the afternoon. Seattle and New Orleans at the Superdome. New Orleans lost to Kansas City. Meanwhile, Seattle had that rare tie with Arizona. I'm going to go for the New Orleans Saints. They are going to beat Russell Wilson. I'm going to say the defense is going to sack him probably 6 or 7 times. But Russell Wilson has to be careful throwing the football into coverage. He's got to do better. Hopefully, Seattle can go to 4-2-1. I'm going to say the Saints will go 3-4. In Carolina, a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game. Cardinals and Panthers. Cam Newton and the Panthers are looking to bounce back. Seattle, meanwhile, Carolina's been on a losing streak. Meanwhile, Arizona had a really tie game with Seattle on a missed field goal by Canizaro and a missed field goal by Hashka. Now, I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. They are going to break that losing streak. They are going to beat the Arizona Cardinals on their home field and get their second consecutive win. In Houston, Matthew Stafford and the Lions will be going into Houston to take on the Houston Texans in Houston. And that is the site for the Super Bowl this year. Detroit made a nice comeback down 17-13. Came back to win with less than 20 seconds left. 20-17. Detroit won. I'm going to take the Detroit Lions. They are going to win their second consecutive game as they will take on the Houston Texans. In Buffalo, Tom Brady and the Pats are looking to split the series against Tyrod Taylor and the Bills in Orchard Park. I'm going to take the New England Patriots. They are going to win and go to 7-1. That will be Tom Brady's 4th game returning from his suspension. So I'm going to say the Patriots are going to win over the Bills. I'm going to say the Patriots will win 34-20 at New Era Field in Buffalo. Other games to watch: Kansas City at Indianapolis. Andrew Luck has done very well. Kansas City has a record of 4-2. Indianapolis is looking to bounce back at 3-4. I'm going to go and say Kansas City. And they're going to beat Andrew Luck and the Colts. The defense has got to step up like last time. They could stop Andrew Luck. They can play well, but the offense, do not throw in interceptions. No turnovers in the game. I want to see a turnover-free game from Kansas City. In Cleveland, Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to make the start as he takes on the winless Cleveland Browns. Cleveland has lost 7 consecutive games to start the season. They have got to bounce back and get their first win. They have yet to win. They are the only winless team to get a win. They could be 1-7 or 0-8. I'm going to take the New York Jets, and they are going to beat the Browns like they did in 2010. They are going to win 26-23, hopefully a game-winning field goal with seconds remaining, and New York is going to take the win in Cleveland. In Tampa Bay, the Oakland Raiders will take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, these two teams meet once every 4 years. Last time they met was in Oakland in 2012. I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they will beat the Raiders, and they will have a chance to get back into this NFC South race. And after Tampa Bay, a short week for them, they will take on the Atlanta Falcons in Tampa Bay at the same stadium. Now the late games, only 2 in the Week 8 era, as Phillip Rivers and the Chargers will take on Trevor Siemian, Demaryius Thomas, and the Broncos at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. Now last time these two teams met, they wore their throwbacks. And this time I want to see San Diego and Denver wear their regular uniforms. I'm going to pick Denver over San Diego, and I think Denver is going to get revenge on the Chargers. Denver's going to split the series with San Diego, and that is how the series should go. Denver's going to split. They're going to win this one 28-21 at Sports Authority Field at Mile High. The Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers go into Atlanta to take on Matt Ryan and the Falcons. Now, normally that is a 1 o'clock early game, but that has been switched to a late game, and that's the only Fox late game. Normally, the late game was Arizona at Carolina. That has been switched to an early game. Green Bay, Atlanta. I know these two teams meet once every 2 or 3 years, but the Green Bay Packers played very well in their last game against the Bears. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons, their offense just did not get it done. They did not do anything, but Josh Lambo kicked a game-winning field goal, and Atlanta lost 33-30. I am going to take the Green Bay Packers. They are going to pack the Atlanta Falcons and put them in a desperate mode. I'm going to say Green Bay 21, Atlanta 17. Now the big Sunday night game. 2 rookie quarterbacks, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott. These two teams meet on NBC's Sunday Night Football. Another division rivalries. The Eagles came away with a win, and they spoiled Sam Bradford's return to Philadelphia. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott did very well in his last outing as they took on the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to take the Eagles to win over Dallas. And Minnesota at Chicago at Soldier Field, I'm going to take Minnesota. They need to bounce back against the Bears. The teams that are off this week, the Los Angeles Rams, Miami Dolphins, New York Giants, Pittsburgh Steelers, San Francisco 49ers, and the Baltimore Ravens. Well, that is it for today. We'll be back on the air next week for more sports. Next week, we're going to preview Week 9 and a recap of the Falcons and the Buccaneers. And if the World Series concludes, we will recap the 2016 Major League Baseball season, and we will preview Week 9 of the NFL, and we'll preview it next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the rest of football, the World Series, and enjoy the rest of your sporting fun action. We'll talk to you next week on the Radio Vision Network, and Let's Talk Sports. Enjoy your day.